Hey everyone, Internet PCS book reader here. Today I want to talk about The Anomaly by hervé tellier. I remember when I was a kid watching this anime called Tonde Kemen, which I'm almost certain anyone who is watching this video right now has ever watched it. I don't remember much about the anime besides some plot points involving talking teapots character that they use for time travel shenanigans. The show itself, if I'm not mistaken, is just some episodic gag adventure where every episode contains their own story, and I've completely forgot about most of them. But there was a particular ending of an episode that I still vividly remember on the corner of my memories. I forgot how the episode started and what caused it to end, but in the episode ending, somehow the character duplicates themselves infinitely. I think it's because there are alternative versions of themselves where they did the same thing with slightly different timing. I don't know why, but that scene is burned into my memories and I still remember them even to this day. What's that got to do with the book? That comes later. For now, we are introduced to our emotionally detached character Blake. Blake has never understood the value of life. Even as a kid, when his mother accidentally hit a dog that was running to their car, he felt nothing watching the light went out of the dog's eyes. If anything, he kinda liked it. He also enjoyed the act of killing, which is further encouraged when his family teach him how to hunt since he was a kid, becoming a good shot and learning how to take care of their dead bodies. Blake is not even Blake's real name. It's a fake name he took from the painter William Blake, who painted the Great Red Dragon and the woman who clothed with the sun, which he got from the last of Anthony Hopkins' Hannibal Lecter Red Dragon. It's a bit on the nose that a serial killer like a movie about serial killer, but we'll let that slide for now. Blake invented the name when a random guy drunkenly offered him money to kill someone, which he refused, but he said that there's this guy Blake who is definitely not me that can help you with that. And thus Blake became Blake, the serial killer contractor. Since this is his first job ever to kill, he used everything he had learned from movies and documentaries to at least guide him on how to prepare for everything. In the book, he did things that makes the book feels very fictional because his first murder should have left a lot of evidence in the victim that makes it obvious that it's a murder instead of a natural death that the drunk guy requested. A lot of it is fake enough that I think it's better for the story because more detail just made it have more factual error, which is proven when he used stun button to knock the guy off first. Those things leave quite some marks that makes it obvious that it's a murder. But I guess we just have to roll with the plot armor for now and believe that the guy ever since then lived two lives. One as a serial killer and one as a normal husband with two children that is away from home too often. He went through a bad plane turbulence to kill another person in New York in the future, then he goes back home to drink at his favorite coffee shop when we end his story with someone watching him from afar. Then there's Victor Michel, an author who's semi-famous. He had two books that has been sold for about 1,000 each, which doesn't make much of a living, so he usually get by on a daily life by translating other authors' books into other languages, including Star Trek Klingon. He's a bit of a strange man who keep a Lego brick on his pocket and still can't get over a woman he saw 4 years ago on a translator event, and he only exchanged one sentence with her. Then one day he went on a plane for work and there was this storm that felt like it should have killed them all. Which it doesn't, so after an existential crisis in his hotel room, he decided to finish the job that the storm failed to do by stepping on the hotel balcony. We then have Lucy. She's a film editor that was staying with her boyfriend Andre in Paris, who is 30 years older than her by the way. Their relationship has started to go sour after a flight that passed a large turbulence. She lived a single life after she broke it off with Andre and has been staying alone for 3 weeks when police knocked on her door asking for her to come for unknown reason. The book then introduces us to even more characters. There's David, an American pilot that was diagnosed late with cancer. It's already on stage 4 when he found out, which is bad. There's the Cleveland family, a family of 4 that just got back from their Paris holiday, back to the dreadful everyday life where they started to drift apart as a unit. And things got even weirder. If things has not been weird before, besides everyone seems to be on the single plane, now there are mysterious figures that started going after them. The way the story is told is a bit weird. Each chapter it introduces us to new characters. Thankfully the book at least did a great job at introducing us to these characters. Besides the plot armor serial killer, everyone else in the story is someone that we might be familiar with. So despite every character introducing us to new characters, they are instantly recognizable. Apathy, depression, loneliness, mortality, change, each of them represents something we know. Then there's the additional mystery that seems to stem from the turbulent flight they all have from Paris that gets drip feed at the end of each of these characters' story. But at this point, us reader will most likely realize that yes, the plane and whatever happened there is causing this weirdness, and yes, every character meant to say that inside the plane there are various people with such a different life. But the repetitive nature of doing this repeatedly comes at the cost of some of these characters feeling like they're just beating a dead horse. Like either the author are not sure yet if the readers are smart enough to understand the theme of the book, or they just want more page number for their book. Either way, it's not looking good for the story. We can feel this especially in the next character, Joanna, who is still a very interesting character. She's an attorney that is trying to defend a billionaire, and the backstory given to her being a black woman from a poor background, despite giving a lot of the myth of black excellence, is still quite well done. But since we already know what the story is trying to tell, she feels more like padding. And to make matters worse for Joanna, the next character, Clemens Balmer, gave a lot more context to the story. Clemens is Victor's editor. She's also a fan of his work and one of the 1,000 people who bought his book. She got a mail from Victor about his latest book, The Anomaly. Yes, it is one of the stories where the title of the book is another book in the story, which when Clemens started praising really feel like a sucking your own dick move by the author. But worried about the content of the book that is a bit too dark, she decided to call him, which is when she got the news about him stepping off his balcony. Since she was a friend, she tried to publish the Anomaly book that was sent by Victor before his death without changing anything, which she had to fight with her publisher. But despite all her attempts, she cannot change the marketing of the book, who still told the world that this is a book written before the author took his own life. So just like Van Gogh, the book sold way more. So much that Victor's previous two books was reprinted again because people are seeking his work now. And this part feels good to read because finally the story is setting up for something. But unfortunately we go back to more filler episode when the book introduces us to Slim Boy, a rapper from Nigeria in a chapter that really feels like the author either only listened to songs that goes to top Billboard chart or he only know musician from tabloid articles. It was not until the story started to feel like a drag that the book finally started to unpack what it has set up so far. If y'all still remember when I mentioned the infinite duplicate ending of the Teapot Time Machine anime at the start of the video, that's what has been going on in the book. The flight that all the characters got into, Flight Friend 6, for some reason duplicated itself. The first plane landed on April safely, then the second one arrived later on March. Everything in the plane was duplicated, including every single person boarding it. We know this already from the blur of the book and the tagline of the cover saying, "What if there were two of you?" And that's why I got the book, because there's so much interesting places that you can take the story to with that premise. The potential for many identity crises and how the world will handle having people that have their own duplicate is such an interesting idea to go to. Will it happen again? What to do with the duplicates? Can they live together? Should they be apart? Will they be temporary, permanent? Should they make the same choices? Whose house do they live in? With whose couple will people fear them, accept them? So much scenario that it could have gone through, but the book kinda wasted all this potential of what it could have been because the author added some random MIT duo that makes something called Protocol 42, a protocol they made out of joke that somehow happened, and then everyone seems to know what to do when this impossible thing happened. They started capturing all of them, making this a clandestine operation by the government. It went the conspirational route instead of the human route, which I think is really dumb because there's so much convenient thing that need to take place in the plot for this to happen that the book really lost me at some point. And during all of this reveal, the filler episode didn't stop. There's even a whole chapter dedicated to interviewing these duplicates. Then the story got even dumber by taking the route of making the scenario into post-Trump hypothesis or the simulation hypothesis. Nothing wrong with simulation hypothesis itself, there are some amazing stories that is based on it. 1899 series that was created by the people who made Dark in Netflix actually looks interesting before Netflix killed the series. 13 Sentinel by Atlus is also an underrated story, but the way it was used in the book is just not good. It mostly felt like a gimmick for plot convenience. It's really unfortunate because if the book focuses on just one from any of these characters, it could have been so much more. For example, the author self-insert would jump out of his hotel. How will he deal knowing what he did and his newfound posthumous fame? The guy with cancer, you could make it that his duplicate appears every time he died suffering from cancer. How will his family deal with losing him over and over again? Will it dull the pain or will it be a continuous hell of grief? And how do they deal with that? The book did eventually release the duplicate from the government custody and explored some of the implications from having a duplicate, but it never fully explored the topic because there's just too many characters and too little time since they were about to wrap the story when the story is heading to that direction. You can really feel the end part being rushed before it ends with the third French number 6 plane appearing that somehow they decided to shut down, which I don't know how and using what logic, and it is hinted that the destruction of the third plane caused the simulation of the world to end. A waste of potential this book is. I wonder how many people that bought this million-copy international bestseller regretted getting this book because of its interesting premise like I do. I give this a 1.75. What do you think? Let me know if I missed anything, so leave your thoughts in the comment below and subscribe to the channel. That's about it. See ya.